Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. I hope all of you will be fine. Today we are going to solve exercise of the poem and the name of the poem is The Road Not Taken. First of all, answer the following question. Question number 1 is what exactly does the traveler do when he sees two roads in the wood? The traveler stood for a long time and looked at one road. Next question is in what ways were the roads similar? Both roads were fair, both were covered with leaves that nobody had stepped upon. What reason does the poet give for taking one path and not to the other? The poet says that he took the path that looked less traveled. Which phrase or sentence tells us that the poet would still like to take the other path? The phrase telling this with a sigh tells us that the poet would like to take the other path. Was the poet curious about the path he did not take? How do we know he was curious? Yes, the poet was curious about the path he did not take. We know this because he stood for a long time and looked down the other road. Why did the poet doubt he would never walk on the other path? The poet says that one path leads to another and the traveler goes further and further away from the road he has left. That is why he doubts that he would ever walk on the other path. Do you think the poet regrets not having taken the other path? I think the poet feels a bit of regret at not taking the other path. He thinks that his life might have been different if he had done so. What are some of the things that you regret not having done? I regret about not studying hard enough earlier. Look at the rhyming scheme of the poem. What is the rhyming pattern? First, third, and fourth lines of each stanza rhyme with each other. Likewise, second and the fifth line of each stanza rhyme with each other. How many syllables are there in each line? There are 9 syllables in each line. Answer the following question with reference to context. Then took the other as just as fair and having perhaps the better claim. What did the poet do immediately before this? The poet stood and looked down the other road immediately before this. In what way were the two paths similar? Both were clear and were covered with leaves. In what way were they different from each other? The path the poet took looked less traveled than the other. B part is I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere aches and aches hence. Why would the poet be sighing? The poet was sorry that he was not able to take the other path that would make him sigh. What would he say about his decision in the future? He would say that he took the road less traveled, and that made all the difference in his life.